Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Coach JC. Everyone gather around, should be a good one today. Today's topic is when a man is upset with you but still respects you, it speaks volumes to him. Bottom line, when you're dating a man who's upset with you, mad at you, you have a lot of friction towards each other, a lot of that stuff is just normal, but at the same time, though, how he treats you, how he behaves towards you, um, considering your feelings, all that stuff matters. It's a way to get mad, it's a way to get upset. You guys both are not going to see things eye to eye, you're going to argue, you're going to fuss, but you always have to have grace, love, and compassion for one another. That's the thing that separates, the marriages that last in decades or the one that ends in years or months or even weeks. Learn how to communicate when y'all are at ease or when y'all are at each other's throat. You gotta know coping mechanism to de-escalate situations. I know for me, anytime I get upset, I get mad. I like to take a walk, like to journal, write stuff down, just get a clear space. But y'all should never really be in a situation where you're arguing, fussing at each other, throwing at each other across the room, punching at each other, calling each other's names outside of outside of each other. All that's unnecessary. There's a way that you guys should be able to communicate effectively, ways that y'all should be able to come at peace. I mean, like I said, you guys are two different people, two different upbringings, two different makeups. So you gotta realize there's gonna be some fights, there's gonna be some arguments, but I always just try to keep it respectfully as much as possible, that you don't end up damaging the other person. And one way, as far as damaging the other person, like I said, belittling them, talking down to them, bringing up old stuff, bringing up old habits, bringing up insecurities, bringing up things that y'all know things that y'all know that's sacred, that y'all know y'all aren't supposed to break up when y'all are supposed to argue and stuff. But yeah, like I said, it is a journey. It is a battle when you're out there with your spouse. Days where you're gonna see things eye to eye and everything's all rosy, and those days are coming. Once you get into the thick of things, the honeymoon phase, everything is okay. Y'all going to the movies, y'all maybe going over to each other's houses. Y'all watching something on TV or Netflix. Y'all just chilling each other's vibe. There's gonna be some days when y'all gonna be at each other's throats. Y'all gonna be trying to hit each other, and not physically, but just hurt each other mentally, emotionally. Y'all gonna be trying to get at each other. It happens. And there might even be kids involved. So you gotta be really conscious and aware, especially fighting and arguing in front of children, because like I said, children are sponges. They pick up everything. So be very aware, self-conscious of your arguing in front of kids. Different. When you're arguing by yourselves in the room as opposed to being outside with the kids, or when y'all are out in a setting like the park, or when y'all are out in the movie theaters, or just out and about with a whole lot of people. You don't really want to have those fights or arguments amongst other people. Not to say that it's okay to do it in private, but a lot of stuff that y'all should be arguing or discussing should come privately. You guys have a disagreement. It's okay to disagree with one another, but just respect each other's space, respect each other's posture. Learn from what the other person's coming from, and don't just try to look at stuff from your own perspective. I know for me, like, I'm very quick to have compassion, love. I used to be like, hey, she might be listening, my wife be talking to me. Sometimes I may tune her out because I'm like, I really want to hear her, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it's my wife, so whatever she says, a lot of times, more times than not, is what's accurate, what needs to be said. So we just have to listen to her, make sure she's being heard, she's being heard and understood, And that's one thing that you gotta implement within your marriage, relationship. Like, hey, what happens when we do get mad, we do get upset, when the temperature is over 90 degrees, when we're at each other's throat, how do we de-escalate? How do we come to an agreement, come to the meeting where we're already having powerful conversations with one another and we're not really tearing each other down physically, emotionally, spiritually as well too. So you gotta be very conscious and very aware of how you talk to one another. That does play a big factor when you're out there dating and seeing one another. And it can have a long-term effect on each other's health and well-being. If I'm always arguing, stressing up my wife, then guess what? She's gonna have high blood pressure. She's gonna be in the hospital, and definitely don't want that. And definitely don't want to have that sense, that presence of my daughter, well too, looking at me, being up on the mom and stuff. That's just not a good sign to look at, and that can be very traumatizing to your kids as well too. So just be very aware and be very conscious of what you're doing around kids and just yourself, and hold yourself accountable too. Apologize, make up, come back an hour or two later, what, I apologize for what I said dinner time. Let's make up, and let's just try to have a better rest of the day. Just try to make up, try to like I said, see from the other person's perspective where they're coming from. See, y'all can be in the middle. But that's all I really have to say. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Anything you want to comment below, feel free to. Until next time out, Coach JC.